Get them going!
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Cross Examinations Live. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller. I'm not a pastor, priest, rabbi, theologian, professor of anything. I'm just a guy on the internet, comic book artist by trade, talking about stuff, Bible stuff, generally speaking. And you're here because you have nothing better to do. Clearly, if you had anything better to do, you'd probably be doing it. But be that as it may, look. You can't see my background. Well, okay, you can see a little bit of it right here. I noticed that since I'm using OBS virtual camera, I can hide my closet, my cabinet with my books. But except for here's the thing. My head gets cut in. So I can't wave over here anymore because I covered it up with green. I mean, I could turn this off. Look. And then you see this. What's better? This? No, I'm here because I love you. Oh, thank you, King Bob. Hey, Missy. Good afternoon to you as well. I don't think Tina's going to be here today. Should I turn those back on? I kind of like the whole thing, except for now my hand disappears every time I do this. And then it's like, oh look, a hand's coming out of nowhere to grab me. All right. Anyways. What are we doing today? What are we talking about? Oh my gosh. Did you see what Trump did? You know how the president of South Africa is this racist, genocidal monster who's a revolutionary that wants to kill all the white farmers, wants to kill all the white people. He wants to kill all the white people in South Africa, apparently. And he has been saying that for years and years and years. So Trump has the president of South Africa to the White House, and he plays him 4 minutes of video of the president of South Africa saying he wants to kill white people. This would be like FDR having Hitler over to the White House and playing every speech where he says he wants to exterminate the Jews to his face, like for the press to see. And that's the thing, right? Because this is the kind of stuff the press doesn't want you to see. For some reason, the press isn't interested in telling you about a genocidal maniac running South Africa, probably because he's a black communist and they like black communists. So now they kind of have to see it. They kind of have to cover it because he's doing it at the White House. Oh, I'm so glad I voted for Donald Trump. We probably give them weapons. I should very, very, very much hope not, but I wouldn't doubt if we have in the past. I wouldn't doubt it. Funny thing. I don't know how funny it is. The press is depressing, but thank you for that. So over the weekend, oh my gosh, I could pick it up and it didn't hurt. Am I getting better? Except bending my arm like this hurts. I think I'm getting better. Yes. Please do continue to pray for my invisible arm. So update for those of you who are following me on Whatnot last night, I was giving the update that the graphic novel Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have been in a place for 4 years where I don't want to seek out projects. I have a vision for what I want to do, and because of that, I feel like my time is the Lord's, and I want to move forward only with things I think that the Lord wants me to do. Meaning that, oddly, that means I would not actively seek out employment. And I mean, I've had times where I just sat down and I prayed and I was, what do you want me to do with my time? What do you want me to do with my time? My time is yours. That's the whole thing. You give us every breath, every heartbeat, every moment. It's yours. Tell me what you want me to do with it. And in the past, that was me finishing a FAR. And then, the whole vision of mine with the multimedia empire and blah, 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 all that stuff. I just want to do stuff that moves the world towards. Okay, maybe I'll get rid of these because now you can't see me when I'm waving my hand like this. This is an important part of the show, the hand, moving the hand. And thus I didn't want to sit there and just try to fill my time with stuff to make money, which I know crazy, right? It's like it's this is what we're driven in our culture, and by our necessities and everything. It's like, just do something to make money. I get it. It costs money to do things, but I've never really been comfortable in the past. Just probably the past 4 or 5 years, I have not been comfortable just seeking out work to make money. And so, I mean, I've in the recent past, I have been like going to where I thought would be a good fit of what I thought my vision was. What I believe my vision was, moving in that direction, and then trying to make things happen. And I'm like, and I'm not telling people not to try to make things happen. This is just like this personal kind of a weird thing that I've been going through for years now. And I'm like, whatever God wants me to do, I just want him to like drop it. Is this weird? I just want him to drop it in my lap and tell me to do it and do this. This is what I want. And then believe that is, if it's something that aligns with my vision. I mean, I'm not going to, Penthouse calls me up and says, hey, we want to hire you for $1 million a year to do dirty pictures. I'm going to be like, no. But that's not, if it aligns with my vision and my purpose and God drops it in my lap, I don't have to pray whether or not to take a job like that. Right? That's I've been praying about it for years. So it's like it comes to it's the no-brainer point. It's the no-brainer point. And so anyways, there was this project. I talked to the guy about months ago. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, I just plumb forgot about it because it had been so long. And things happened with him and another artist that they had. I was his first choice, but I'm expensive. And he went with another artist, and so honestly, I just forgot about it. And then lo and behold, he comes back. And honestly, I didn't I talked to him about a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "There's this, this thing might be happening, and this might be happening, and so we might need to dump the other guy, and I would love for you to restart the entire project." And I'm like, "Well, all right, well, let me know, because it does align with what I'd like to do." And he's, I mean, very much aligning with what. And then I talked to him today. It was funny because yesterday I was talking to the writer who he had hired on a totally different subject. And he's like, "Hey, it sounds like we're working together." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I haven't heard anything. And it's like, so I went to my email and I checked, and he had actually emailed me on Friday. I just don't check my email that often. And told me what was going on. And so, we set up a call today, and I had it. And it sounds like it's a go. And it is, it just feels so right. It feels right to just be like, and I'm not, look, I'm not saying this is policy for what Christians should do. It's just what kind of my conviction is like, I just want God to drop what he wants me to do in my lap. And it feels like this is it. This is, at least for now, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I can't really get into details, but kind of the overarching stuff in my vision that I've been praying for. And then recently I was like thinking, well, what if the vision isn't for me to be like, because I'm a terrible, I don't want to say I'm a terrible businessman. I'm good at the action of business. I'm terrible at the accounting, basically accounting. I don't want to deal with that crap. I don't want to deal with all that crap. I want to be a creative in this vision. And recently, just in the past few months, I'm like, well, maybe it's not me leading this vision. Maybe I'm a part of this vision, and someone else is taking care of all the business crap. It's not Ripa. I know people. Is it Ripa? Is it Ripa? It's not Ripa. And oddly, this guy, this is totally out of left field, but it's like he's so far ahead in all of the stuff that I was already thinking about that I'm like, maybe I'm a cog. God, make me a cog in his machine, and that's fine. I mean, I still ultimately and ultimately Blacklist is, down the line could be very much part of this thing. So you're half Asian. Accounting is in your blood. Hold on a second. Take a good look at my face.
Take a good look at my face. I'm an Oriental.
We don't use Asian around these parts, son. All right. So anyways, that's a long way to say, I don't, well, I mean, he sent me a bunch of stuff today, but the, I could technically just start today. I probably should get something on today, but I still do have some time to do the whatnot thing. I just don't know exactly how much time. It could be days, could be week, could be as much as a month. So we shall see. Corpse Craner says the news is just a narrative business. JFK swims in a polluted river, not JFK swims in a polluted river, not that companies X, Y, and Z are still pouring chemicals into our rivers. True. You remind me, though, he's saying news is just a narrative of a joke that Norm Macdonald tells, or told. Rest in peace. He's like, yeah, I remember when I was a kid, the news was like a half an hour, and nowadays you got all these 24-hour news channels. It turns out that half an hour was just about right. Man, I miss Norm. I miss Norm. I'll make you a deal. I'll pray for your arm and you pray for my foot. Just kidding. I'll pray for you. And he goes, all right. Lord, heal King Bob's foot. What's wrong with your foot? You have plantar fasciitis? Because I can cure you in 20 minutes. We'll keep praying for that arm and can slip into another dimension. No more dimension. Sorry. Why pray? God does whatever he wants anyways. Because he tells us to pray. Because he wants us to pray. And because prayer is communication. And you can't have a relationship without communication. And that's what he wants. He wants the communication. He wants the relationship. This has been the motto in my house forever. And now I totally forgot what it is. A relationship, communication is key to a good relationship. Communication is key to a good relationship. You're more of a sprocket than a cog. I'll be a stator. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe even a belly pull. Man, belt pulley. Belly pull. Belly bit. God's never really speak. Your apostrophe is in the wrong place. Apparently, they give feelings to people who tell others. That's not true. I've heard God's voice. That's a good Norm impression you got there. Oh, Norm died. George Wendt passed away yesterday. Norm. Speaking about dead Norms. Norm. He was such a part of my childhood. Wow, well done, Mike. Thank you. Most are entertainment news, but they put the entertainment part. People don't realize they are watching the tabloids for hours. Corpse Grinder, upon this we shall agree. You know, as art, or they hide the entertainment part. I was having this argument with my brother, who I saw over the weekend. He lives in Portland, so his brain is now clearly mush when it comes to politics. Because I mean, he's very smart. He's as smart as I. We both took. All right, humble brag. We both took the Mensa IQ test from Mensa. We got the exact same IQ score. And yes, we both qualify to be in Mensa. But so he's not stupid. But his brain did turn to mush living in Portland regarding politics. Sorry, Tom, if you're listening. Bad tabloid news hours. Yeah, the tabloid. So, and I was making the point to him because I was like, where are you getting your information? He's like, oh, I look at both sides, and he's like, starts mentioning these things, and I'm like, the only ones I'm recognizing you talking about are left wing. I didn't tell him that because I don't want to. He thinks he listens to both sides, and I'm like, I just gave him a couple of tests. But anyways, but to my part of that, I was saying that he's asking where I get my news, and I'm like, I like watching debate shows, and I've been this way since before Fox News was around. When CNN was the only cable outlet, what the show I loved to watch on CNN was Crossfire, because you had conservatives and you had liberals, and they would debate and discuss both sides of the issue, and that's fun. Watching, I have no fun in echo chambers, even with people that I absolutely love. If they're just saying stuff I already agree with, it's not as much fun as disagreeing. So I like seeing people disagree. I'm disagreeable that way, I suppose. And so after Crossfire, it was politically incorrect with Bill Maher. 2 conservatives, 2 liberals, and Bill Maher pretending to be unbiased, but he's a total liberal. But, you know, at least it was 40, 60 conservative, liberals. And then when he got booted from ABC for that, what was I was watching Hannity and Combs. Hannity and Combs. That was the best show on Fox News when Fox News came out, because it was a conservative and it was a liberal. And they would go back and forth. And then Combs quit. So I just stopped watching, because I honestly, I don't like Hannity. I mean, not that I don't like, I don't know the guy, but I think he's, talk about a cog in a machine. I think Hannity is a cheerleader for the party. He's not a ideological conservative. Like, I think Tucker's an ideological conservative. So Tucker's great. And Tucker's great because he'll have debates with people that he disagrees with. And like the Charlie Kirk stuff now. I love the Charlie Kirk stuff. Why? Because he's out there debating. Most of the stuff that I watch that isn't, listening to audiobooks or whatever, is debate-centered stuff. Deconstruction Zone, Alex O'Connor. I'm mentioning the atheists on this because I love to watch them debate people. Andrew Wilson. Who else do I watch relatively frequently? I just love watching debate. I love seeing and hearing both sides of the topics. And honestly, I think that is what makes it conservative. I know there's liberals that like watching debates too, but I think that the conservative arguments just hold more freaking water, generally speaking. And yeah, I know I'm ideological because I'm a Christian, but I at the very least, I'm getting both sides of the argument pretty much all the time, whatever we're talking about. You know what else I like to watch? I like to watch congressional. I'm a nerd. I like to watch congressional hearings. Why? I don't know. Is that not fun to anybody else? Right? Debates are the best way to get the heart of ideas when they're done well. Right. So I went back and forth with my brother for like way too long, because we were there for my niece's graduation, and like we had to get up at like 7:30 the next morning, and we're up until like 1 o'clock arguing. But one of the tests I gave him was do you think Trump said that Nazis were good people, that white supremacists were good people? And he kind of went back and forth on it, and ultimately he said, yeah, he thought he said that. And I'm like, this is a lie that was debunked 8 years ago. And it was the lie that what's his face, Joe Biden, said was the catalyst for him running for president. And it was a lie that was repeated by Barack Obama during this recent presidential race. It's the lie that the left and the media keeps telling, and all you have to do to find out it's a lie is keep playing the tape. He says literally the second after, like the next breath after he says they're good people on both sides, he says, not the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists. They should be condemned absolutely. And he'd never heard that. So clearly he does not get news from both sides. He gets news from liberal freaking communists. And so I gave him a couple of tests like that. Like, do you think this? And it was ultimately yes. And then I said, this is so easily debunked. It was debunked almost immediately. And yet Barack Obama repeated it during the last campaign season. 8 years later. And if you still believe it, if you're in the audience and you still believe it, it's because you've never, ever looked into it. And you believe everything the left-wing media pours down your throat like a good cult member. I like the debates sometimes. I just love them. I don't know. It's my favorite. Crossfire. PC, relationships with gods. Okay. There's no apostrophe. If you're saying the plural of gods, there's no apostrophe. If you're putting the apostrophe, it's an ownership. It's gods. God owns this. It's God's. It belongs to God. Then you put the apostrophe in. If you're saying there's multiple gods, zero apostrophe, just G-O-D-S. Okay. It's similar to having thoughts and internal dialogue with yourself. Isn't that peculiar? No, it's not. It's really not, because it is a, well, when you hear God's voice, as I have, and I know people who have, maybe you haven't, I'm sorry, but it's an external voice. It's not your voice, and it's oftentimes telling you things you don't want to hear. Very much. What ad reconstruction? Oh, what is reconstruction? Reconstruction is rebuilding the faith, rebuilding your faith. Is it true that neo-Nazis and white supremacists do support Trump? Is that true? I honestly don't know any neo-Nazis or white supremacists. I do know that neo-Nazis tend to be socialists. So I don't know. How many neo-Nazis and white supremacists do you know, and do you know who they support? My brother asked me that same question. You think that? Do you guys all get your talking points from the same people? Y'all watching Rachel Maddow or something? Is that what it is? Richard Spencer is a Democrat. Richard Spencer is a Democrat. KKK. Neo-Nazi. White supremacist. Richard Spencer. Democrat. So that's one that's not. Actually, they don't like how much he likes Israel. Right. Neo-Nazis tend to not like the Jews. And the Jews, and his support of Israel, his Jewish daughter, his Jewish son-in-law, probably put a little chink in that their armor. Richard Spencer endorsed both Joe Biden and Kamala. This is such a dumb point. Yeah. Oh, and then you want to know what really ticked me off? I don't want to spread all my stuff about my brother, but he was talking about this guy who got deported. That so who's what here? What, Tanner? Huh? Huh? He was saying that he was talking about this guy who got deported, and apparently he's an American citizen, and he didn't get due process, and that's what he was all about. That's the talking point on the left right now. They're not getting due process. And I'm like, they're here illegally. If you're here illegally, you should very easily be able to prove that you're here legally. If you're here illegally, and you're right. And the one guy I'm not going to argue about because he's freaking MS-13. So I don't care about anything. Get rid of him. But the other guy, I looked into it while we were talking, and apparently it was a bad cop. And look, I only looked into it cursorily, so maybe I'm getting bad news from bad sources. But if this is the case, then my brother was right. And this guy who was deported because this bad cop didn't like him or something. And the bad cop reported him to ICE, saying that his tattoos were trendy. Agunigunga. I can't remember the name. Charlie Aguagua, a criminal gang. And so he got deported, and sent to El Salvador into the Trende de Agua, and the KKK were Democrats back then. The KKK, yes, the Democrats, they were the terrorist arm of the Democrat Party, basically. And be that the case, then yes, he should be reviewed and returned to America if he's not an illegal. If he is an illegal, then you don't belong here. If you're illegal, you don't belong here. And he says, because of this one case, he says, and I said I was a conservative, so obviously I have ideological leanings, and he says, yeah, and you don't have a heart anymore, or something like that. He said I was heartless because what am I supposed to do about this character, about this guy? I agreed. He should have his due process. Should everyone have their due process? I mean, the due process should be, are you here legally? You shouldn't go to court. I mean, maybe there's something they could do just to confirm. It's like, give the guys 5 minutes. Are you, Ricardo Montalban? Yes. Are you here legally? No. Or if they say yes, can you show us your papers? Can you show us your documentation? Sorry, papers, please. Sorry, just because they're papers doesn't mean, because you're going after people who have broken the law. So, are you here legally? Yes, show me. Here's my green card. Okay, we got bad information, and then they don't arrest him. There you go. Unless it's a fake green card, and it has to be whatever. But they should have, and that's the thing, if it goes down to like one bad cop making something up about somebody he didn't like, then it is what it is, right? Then later I said, do you know about the January 6ers? He said, what about them? And I said, do you know how many of those people are in prison? He's like 150. And sorry, I'm doing that. Whenever I talk about somebody, whether it's my brother or my son, I kind of do the dumb voice. I don't know why. It comes this natural thing. I'm trying to differentiate from me talking and my brother talking. He doesn't actually talk like that. Like I said, he's very intelligent. And so is my son. But he noticed that too. He's like, how come whenever you talk about me, you make this dumb voice? I'm sorry. It's just what I do. Sorry. So I look it up and I go, there were 1,500 people arrested January 6th or for January 6th. 1,000 of them were convicted, which means by process of elimination, 500 of them didn't have their due process. 500 grandmothers and fathers and patriots who just happened to be in a building. I have a friend of mine he wasn't arrested, but the FBI freaking hounded him for 4 years. 500 of these guys had zero due process. They were never convicted of a crime, and they spent 4 years in gulag. And, what do you think about that? And he's just like, So I don't have a heart because the one guy didn't get his due process. But you have a heart, even though you don't care about the 500 people who got no due process, who spent 4 years in jail. This guy's been in El Salvador for 40 days. 40 days. These guys were in prison for 4 years. 4 years. And I'm the one that doesn't have a heart. Politics makes asses of us all. I think that's a saying, right? Politics makes asses of us all. Man, I'm hungry. Beef jerky. Wait a minute. That's the Adolf had a dog, so dogs are bad argument. Yeah, right. Wait, what did PC Joseph say? Oh, he's a true neo-Nazi. Yeah. Are you not aware that groups like Proud Boys support Trump? You do not know this. Is this my brother? You sound exactly... I swear you all get the same talking points. Who's one of the guys that was in jail for 4 years who wasn't even there? Enrique Tarrio. Notice the name, Enrique Tarrio. He was the leader of the Proud Boys. I believe he's Dominican and black. He is as not white as you can possibly get. You do not know this. And he was in prison for 4 years. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even at the Capitol. And the FBI arrested him for being the leader of the Proud Boys, which would be a really, really horribly stupid group of white supremacists to have a Dominican black dude as your leader. Does that make sense in your brain? Because when I brought this up to my brother, I said, so he's a white supremacist. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so any black person who is a Republican is a white supremacist? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, that was the end of the conversation. I'm like, you lost the plot, dude. You lost the plot. And I just went to bed. Because if your brain is so mush that you think that just becoming a Republican or supporting Trump disqualifies your entire history, your background, everything about your life, including the color of your skin, everything is disqualified from you even being a minority because you like Trump. You like Trump's policies. Suddenly you're a white supremacist. If you're incapable of understanding how freaking stupid that belief is, then nothing else you ever say has any credibility. I hear multiple arguments at once. I'm asking who's what here because I don't want to say what I want to say without sounding like I'm saying something else. Just say whatever you want, brother. Due process is literally for criminals. But that was my question. What does it mean? What does due process mean? See, here's the thing with a lot of the illegals, especially for the past 4 years. They were processed. They were processed into the country. We knew they were illegal. We knew who they were. And we knew where they went. Not a lot of them did we know where they went. So them coming in, registering, and then being let into the country is due process that they are here illegally. That's process enough. You're here illegally. GTFO. Look, I had a good friend who was here illegally. And I didn't discover he was here illegally until he started telling me that he was saying, I'm gonna have to leave the country for 4 years. And I'm like, what? What? And I'm like, why 4 years? Why can't you come back for 4 years? He's like, well, I kind of overstayed my visa, and I can't come back for 4 years. And then Trump says, look, if you're here illegally and you want to come back, just leave and come back legally. So he's like, it's like, it doesn't matter if you're here for 20 years. He's not gonna molest you for being here for 20 years. He's not gonna put a pin on you and say you can never come back. He said, if you're here illegally and you want to come here legally, then leave, go back to your country of origin where all of your family are, where they can support you and help you, then come back legally. The advantage to all of these illegal aliens who have been here for 20 years over like maybe some of the ones that just crossed over during Biden's let them all in strategy is that they've built up friends and family and network. They would have this huge advantage because one of the important things when you want to come into America, one of the things you have to have is a sponsor. You have to have a friend or a family member who is willing to sponsor you and take financial responsibility for you should you come here and fail to hold your own. My mom's an immigrant. This stuff goes back all the way. You know, it's like when my brother also not an American citizen, but he wanted, he had to have a sponsor to be in America in order to live here, work here, or whatever. So he's a American resident, like permanent resident. But it's because that's part of the process. You have a sponsor. If you were here for 20 years, you must have American friends who can sponsor you. So all of those people, they could very, very easily, I mean, not easily, it's going to be a hassle. Obviously, it's going to be a hassle. Whatever. Life is a hassle. Get over it. That's, but you came here illegally. That wasn't a hassle? Really? That wasn't a hassle? 80% of your women got raped on the way across the border. That wasn't a hassle? I think that was a hassle. Coming here illegally, much, much less probability you're going to get raped coming across the border. Just use TDA, it's easier. Again, like I said, I don't want to read what I didn't say. I don't read what I didn't say. I was just purely staring facts, not implying anything. Okay. Due process. Due process is for citizens, for all I care, and I'm not a U.S. citizen. Well, they were processed on the way in. That was their due process as far as I'm concerned. If you can't speak English, you're probably not an American citizen, because I believe that's one of the things you need to pass the test. I hope that's one of the things. I don't know if it is. Kenny Proctor, you ready for another lesson? What you got, Kenny? Due process is utterly American. It's a major part of our justice system. You do not think it's important? Again, they got their due process when they were, well, not all of them, I grant you. They were let in. And I think there should be some sort of confirmation. All you need is absolute confirmation. That's all the due process you need. If someone is here illegally, all you need is absolute confirmation that they are here illegally. Which means the one guy who got booted out and he's not here illegally, yes, something went wrong. But there's no such thing as a perfect system. How many people are in prison who are there? They got their due process and that it was wrong. There are people in prison who shouldn't be in prison right now, and probably a lot of them, right? That's why even some people who are very, very pro death penalty by principle, they're against the death penalty by just the sheer fact that sometimes they get it wrong. So if you're going to be like, oh my gosh, of the millions of people we're deporting, one guy wasn't a citizen. Stop everything. I mean, one guy was a citizen. No. It sucks to be that error in the code, but it happens in everything. There's no freaking such thing as a perfect system. So you want to just let everybody out of prison because some of those people are innocent? That's kind of like the same argument, right? Well, somebody in prison is innocent. Let's let everybody out just in case that one guy. And that's that. It's better 1,000 guilty people go free than one innocent man be sent to prison. I mean, it's a fun little saying. And I mean, in a way, I agree with the principle, but there's a principle and the practical. If you truly, if you truly implement that principle into practice, you have to let everyone out of prison, because you know for a fact that there are innocent people in prison. There's the principle and the practical. The practical is, okay, we're deporting a crap ton of illegal immigrants. One guy got caught in a net he didn't belong in. He's the dolphin in the tuna net. Are we going to stop eating tuna? Is picking your nose and is picking tour nose and eating it a sign of intelligence? I'm gonna skip that one. Kenny Proctor. Apostates are concerned with the government. Set apart children of God are concerned with conforming to Yahshua. The one you apostates call Jesus, which is the Greek son God. Actually, his name is Yeshua. Joseph. Same name, Joseph. I don't know where the Jesus part came. I don't know where the Jesus transliteration came in. Whatever. Not being racist, but what nationality are you? Like, I can't tell if it's Asian, Native, or Italian. I just like to confuse people with my face. No, but realistically.
Good look at my face. I'm an Oriental.
My mom is Japanese. My dad is my dad was half Norwegian, and the rest was like northwestern Europe and the UK. Wait. To be convicted in America requires due process. You do not have to be there to be part of a conspiracy. You're smart enough to know this. $500 of the J6ers were never convicted, and they spent 4 years in jail. What do you do with that, BC Joseph? Where's your heart? That's droolingly idiotic, and as a half black, that's right wing. I get all the time. I don't know who you're talking to or what you're saying. Christians understand nothing in the Bible. But you, oh wise Kenny Proctor, know everything about everything. Dang, Mr. Miller's drinking Jack and Coke on stream. Well, It's not quite Jack and Coke. It's Stoke Cold Brew Coffee. Not too sweet. By the way, commercial. Stoke Cold Brew is like the best freaking cold brew coffee on the market. STOK, I suggest. As the events of January 6, 2021 unfolded, Tario, who was monitoring the attack from afar as it unfolded, posted encouraging messages to his tens of thousands of social media followers, including the following message: proud of my boys and my country. Don't effing leave. So, sorry, do we not have free speech in this country anymore because of January 6th? Huh? Also, the attack. Are you saying that encouraging people to go into or towards the Capitol is leading an attack? Is that what you're saying? Encouraging people into the Capitol, directing people into the Capitol. Are those people the people who did that? Those are the ringleaders who should have been imprisoned? Is that what you're saying? I want an answer. I want an answer, Michael. Because you know who I have video of directing people, opening gates, opening doors, pointing into the place? The freaking Capitol Police. Are you saying they were the ringleaders of January 6th and they should have all been in prison? Huh? Is that what you're saying? Because I was reporting on this when it was happening. And I had all that video up on YouTube of Capitol Police officers opening gates wide open, opening doors, directing people into the Capitol, and then while in the Capitol, directing them further into the Capitol, escorting them around. Are the Capitol the police, the ringleaders of January 6th? Michael? You want Tario in prison, but he did far less to encourage people to go inside than the Capitol Police did. Did you see the footage of people attacking the Capitol Police? I'm sorry. Did you just ignore everything I said? They had to eventually let the people in to avoid additional violence. They held them off until... No, dude, that's bullcrap. That is such bullcrap. People were very politely walking, asking the Capitol Police about stuff. Capitol Police were taking selfies with them. They were they literally, it was before anything even got out of hand. I had video of one police, and it was a woman, so take that as you will. It actually doesn't have anything to do with anything. But she pulled the gate open outside, letting people onto the Capitol grounds. There wasn't violence. There wasn't fighting. Yeah, that was after they were already inside. That was a different part, actually. You just missed the guy on the scaffolding shooting the gun. Clearly, I didn't, Michael, because I saw the FBI documents on what the weapons were in the armed insurrection. And you know what? Nobody had a freaking gun. Nobody had a gun. You know what the weapons were? Screwdriver. What was it? Some of them might have had pocket knives. They had no weapons. This armed resurrection. This armed insurrection where nobody came armed. American insurrection, no guns. You are a propagandist and you are full of crap and you don't know what you're talking about. David Trudeau. Everyone came to the insurrection unarmed and took over nothing. The only two people killed were unarmed women, right? And then they propagated the lie for years that the insurrectionists killed police officers. Total freaking lie. Oh, dude, I was freaking reporting on it. I had a political channel at the time, and so I was scouring for videos and everything every day, looking for stuff. And that's YouTube took my channel down for this. Pocket Lint and Nana had some knitting needles, right? Right. All right. Look, I should probably get to the Bible. We're in Hosea. Hosea. Chapter 4, I believe. I'm going to stop eating my rib bits or whatever it is, tender bites. La da dee, la da da. La da dee, la da da. Next chapter. Commandments, one thou shalt thou. Yeah, I'd really love to hear the arguments about how this armed insurrection was really this. Well, it was this planned and organized insurrection. We were going to take over the Capitol building, the most well fortified building on the face of the American continent, besides the Pentagon, possibly. With like 5-ton metal magnetically sealed doors that could only be opened by command from the interior. That just, happened to be opened by Capitol Police and allowed everybody to walk in peacefully, protesting. Weird. Oh, and then escorting people around and talking nice and taking selfies with the violent insurrectionists. Yes, and I know there were people there doing bad things. What's the name of that guy who's never been arrested? The guy that was outside Phelps? No, not Phelps. Yeah, famous photo. Old lady with a tiny flag asking a Capitol policeman directions. Yeah. Ray Epps. Thank you, Justin. Ray Epps. Now, why is it Ray Epps, who is on film trying to organize people to actually go into the Capitol, and then getting shouted down by the crowd saying he was a Fed because he was a Fed? Why is it Ray Epps, who we have his film, we have pictures of him insurrecting people, or not? What's the word? Is it insurrecting people? To go into the Capitol building. Just like you say Enrique Tarrio was, who was not even there. Why is it Ray Epps wasn't one of the 1,500 people thrown into the gulag? Why is that? Could it be he's a Fed? A Fed asset? Could it be? Man, Dan Bongino and what's his face? The head of the FBI. These guys are going to expose all of this stuff very, very shortly, and it is going to be glorious. All of you guys who think this was all right-wing propaganda are going to be eating crow pie like it was on sale. All right. Hosea 4. Just going to read this and get going because I'm way over time. I'm over time already. 30 seconds left. I'm going to read this. Tarrio was directing the whole thing from a golden buffet. It was all you can eat Thursday. Hear the word of the Lord, O children of Israel, for the Lord has a controversy with the land's inhabitants. There is no truth, no steadfast love, no knowledge of God in the land. Their hearts a void where covenant should dwell. Swearing, lying, murder, theft, and adultery abound. Bloodshed follows bloodshed, a tide of sin staining the earth beneath my righteous gaze. Sounds like Detroit in Chicago. Thus the land mourns, its dwellers languish, with beasts of the field, birds of the sky, and fish of the sea swept away, creation groaning under the weight of their iniquity. Yet let none contend, let none accuse, for your people are like those who strive with a priest, their rebellion a defiance of my sacred order. You stumble by day, the prophet stumbles with you by night. I will destroy your mother, her unfaithfulness, a wound that festers in my sight. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. Because you rejected knowledge, I reject you as my priests. Forgetting my law, I will forget your children, their heritage lost to your waywardness. The more they multiplied, the more they sinned against me, swapping their glory for shame, their honor bartered for disgrace. They feed on my people's sin, greedily craving their iniquity. Priests flock entwined in a dance of corruption. So it will be, like people, like priest. I will visit their ways upon them, repay their deeds, my judgment a mirror of their rebellion. They will eat, but not be sated, play the harlot, yet not increase. Oof. Welcome to America. They forsook the Lord, chasing shadows that yield no fruit. Harlotry, wine, and new wine steal away their heart, blinding their understanding. Their love for me drowned in the stupor of false delights. They seek counsel from wooden idols, divining sticks, whisper their path. A spirit of harlotry leads them astray, wandering from their God to bow before lifeless shrines. Mountaintops they sacrifice, under oaks, poplars, and terebinths they burn offerings, their shade a lure for their daughters' harlotry, their brides' adultery. Yet I will not punish your daughters for their harlotry, nor your brides for their adultery. For the men themselves consort with prostitutes, sacrificing with temple harlots. A people without understanding will come to ruin, their folly a noose of their own making. Though you, Israel, play the harlot, let not Judah stumble. Come not to Gilgal, ascend not to Beth Aven, nor swear, the Lord lives, for your oaths are hollow, your worship a betrayal. Israel is stubborn, like a wayward heifer. Can the Lord now shepherd them as a lamb in the open fields? Their defiance a chain that binds their steps? Ephraim clings to idols, leave him be, his heart entangled in the snares of his own crafting. Their drink turns sour, they love harlotry's shame. Their rulers embrace disgrace, their glory swallowed by the lusts they chase. A wind will bind them in its wings. Swept away, they will blush for their altars, their sacrifices a fleeting offering, consumed by the storm of my righteous wrath. You know what I love about this? This argument, the history is written by the victors. Well, is a religion written by Jews going to constantly express what a bunch of stiff-necked whores and freaking idolaters the Jews are? I want people to think about this who deny that God wrote the Bible, right? Because if the God didn't write the Bible, the Jews wrote the Bible. And there's no book that talks more crap about the Mein Kampf doesn't talk more crap about the Jews than the freaking Old Testament does. The Old Testament prophets were a constant reminder of how bad the Jews were at being good Jews. I want you to just cogitate on that reality for a little bit. And if you doubt me, go read Isaiah, go read Hosea, go read Malachi. Oh my gosh. Malachi ends the Old Testament. And it is a absolute condemnation of how bad the Jews are at being Jews. So you have two options. Either this was written by God and God is giving you a realistic portrayal of his chosen people, or it's written by the quote unquote chosen people themselves, and what they're trying to do is make themselves look bad. Can you think about that for a minute? Can you just let that sink into your mushy little brains? Yeah, the Israelites are not shown to be the heroes in the Bible. The history painted is dark, prideful, and filled with idolatry. He calls them whores all the time. In the old days, probably not, Mike, but modern day, you have seen Hollywood. They're proud of it. But before PC, it was pretty funny. Or Robin Hood, Mennonites. Huh? Huh? It's seriously, it's funny. It's funny. All right. Hey, Tanner sub. Thank you, Tanner. I think you are my... How many subs does this channel have? I don't even know. I think you just rounded up the 100 mark, though. Let me see. Is this the right one? Is this on my... Let's go to my YouTube studio. I should know how many subs this channel has, but I'm an idiot. Oh, wow. What? 5 people subbed today? That can't be right. 1304. 1304. Lou. Damn autocorrect. Lou? What? Are they proud of him before we men in tights? Lou. Devil's creation. Kirby, I still have no idea what you're trying to say. But you don't have any more time to say it because that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. God bless us, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Who said they subbed? Where was it? Tanner. Welcome, Tanner, to the Cross-Examinations Reconstruction Zone. God bless us, everyone. We'll see you on the next exciting episode of Cross-Examinations.